Good day, everyone. Sitting in the park under a tree. Well, actually, this is not a park. This is actually a big church. And I'm sitting under the tree. But I got a message for everyone today. And my message is about giving thanks and having gratitude. And the word gratitude means to give thanks. Now, I'm not the type of person that gets up every morning or every day and have a ritual of giving thanks before I go about my day. But I will get up and I do give thanks to the universe for letting me live to see another day. I give thanks for being in my right mind. I give thanks for being healthy. And I give thanks for having a roof over my head and my needs are met. But there comes a time where every now and then I find myself sitting back, or I could be driving somewhere and I start to reflect on my life. And I was just doing some reflection this morning, and I started to think all the way back to my adolescent years. And for those who don't know what adolescent means, it's the years of a child before the age of 12. You're starting to show signs of puberty, but some children aren't even in puberty yet. They call those the adolescent years, the years of innocence. And so I was reflecting back on even being that young and going through a transformation at such an early age by being migrated. That's the word. Migrating from one country or one island or one culture to another. And so I have so much that I've experienced in my life. I don't care to go back further than my adolescent years at the moment. Eventually I will talk about that, but my mind took me back to that time in my life where I had to migrate from one island to a whole new country as an adolescent child. And that can be traumatic in so many ways for a child being transitioned into that. They're coming out of a culture that they were born into, and then being thrown into a culture they know nothing about. The food is different, the culture is different, the language is different, the way people dress is different, the weather is different. And so and then as an adolescent too, I feel like at this age I'm being stripped away from all of the loved ones and friends and family members that I knew at that time as a child. Moving forward, years and years and years now, that was back in 1983. And so I reflect all the way back to those times and followed my life all the way up until now. And I said, I have to give thanks and I have to have gratitude because of some of the things that I have come through. And these things are called obstacles, detours, roadblocks, stumbling blocks, struggles, conflicts, all of these things that happen as you go through the experiences in your life. And for me, some will say, well, that roadblock or that detour was a discouragement, or it was telling you that you wasn't supposed to go there or do that or accomplish that. And I said all of that to say, from my lesson of all of that, I'm learning now that even as a child going through that traumatic experience and now being an adult, at that time I did not understand that the transformation and the struggle that I was going through as a child helped me to now be able to understand that it was a learning experience and that it was something that I could overcome. And once you overcome one obstacle, you get the courage, you get the motivation to understand that you can overcome the next obstacle and the next obstacle. And it seems like it gets harder and harder. Each obstacle that you have to go through, each struggle, each trial, each challenge, it gets harder and harder. And why is that? Because you're being challenged to be at your best. It's not that these obstacles and roadblocks and detours come to discourage you. It come to test you and to challenge your strength, your abilities, to see what you are capable of and to show you yourself as an individual that it might feel like HELL when you're going through it. But when you come out on the other side and you learn the lessons that you've learned from it and you say, man, I survived that, then the next challenge or the next obstacle or the next goal that you try to accomplish and there's stumbling blocks that come in your way, you can see certain things ahead of time because you've experienced this in the past and you say, I know this detour. So because I know this detour and I'm familiar with this detour when I'm accomplishing my goal, then I know what side street to take to get around this detour. I don't let that detour stress me anymore and say, oh, how am I going to get where I need to go because this road is a roadblock and it's a detour. No, it's like the last experience teaches you or taught me that when I come to a roadblock or I come to a detour in my life of trying to be successful, you don't have to panic and give up and lose your mind. You can actually say to yourself, okay, this looks familiar, this feels familiar, I've been down this road before, so I kind of know what to do. And you just go down that side street and you take a detour and you go back onto the straight path that you was trying to go. And so I'm saying all of this to say, I give thanks today to the universe. You can give thanks to whoever you give thanks to, whether it's God, Jesus, Yahweh, Yahshua, whoever you give your praises to or whoever you give thanks to. I give thanks today because I have come through a lot of roadblocks, a lot of obstacles in my way. Some of us chose to give up our innocence to whoever we chose to give it to. And some of us, our innocence were taken from us at an early age and stolen from us. We had no choice. I'm one of those people that my innocence was stolen from me at a young age. So I know what it's like to be a teenage mother in high school and still having to go to school and take care of a child and still graduate from high school. Those are the roadblocks and obstacles that I'm talking about. So it's like I'm looking back at when I was a teenage mom in high school to where I am now. And back then, I felt like there were days when I would wake up and feel like I can't even breathe, like I can't take another step, I can't take another breath because of the humiliation and pain and what I had to go through. But now, years later, some 30-something years later, The same teenage girl, which is me, is now a mother of 3 children, and that child that I had as a teenager in high school now has his bachelor's degree from college. He's a military veteran that served 8 years in the military. My son served in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Baghdad. I became a military mom. Then he got married to an environmental engineer. But at the time, I was an innocent teenage little girl in high school. And I felt like I was going through hell and my world was gonna end. I was terrified at giving birth because I didn't know anything about all of that. And fast forward, look what me giving birth to that child, what that child grew up and accomplished, what type of life my son is now living. Look at how I'm living now. I lived through it. I made it. I'm okay. Those scars are still there. But guess what? Those scars don't hurt anymore. And every time I look at those scars, as you say, mentally looking at my scars, those scars are reminders that I can accomplish any goal or task that I put my mind to, as long as I'm in my right mind, as long as I'm breathing and I'm healthy. I can accomplish anything. The sky is the limit. That's what those experiences taught me. And now that I'm older and I've experienced all of these roadblocks and things that I have been through, that I've struggled through, I can now help other people that was in my same situation. I can mentor them because I know what they are going through. I know what they're feeling because of what I was feeling at the time. So like young ladies who are teenage moms, I now can help them. I now can mentor them because I understand everything that they were going through. So right now, if I wanted to, I could start a nonprofit organization that's helping teenage moms because I know all about that, and that's from my experience as a teenage mom. But at the time going through it, I had no idea that I had the strength and the courage to deal with it, and that eventually those scars would heal. And that pain of every time I remembered those scars, that pain went from pain and now it's turned into purpose. Take your pain and turn it into purpose. If you look in the dictionary, and I'm not quoting, someone quote this and I'm repeating what they're saying. If you look in the dictionary, the word sacrifice comes before success. And I'm here today to give thanks and to show gratitude because I look back at some of my early experiences in my life and I thought I was going through hell. I thought I could never make it through it. I felt like the world was against me. But now, look what has come out of what happened to me. The tragedy or me being a teenage mom and all, and my innocence being taken, it has turned into purpose. That child is now successful. That child has become a grown, successful man. And it's all because of the struggle that I went through, all of the humiliation, all of the pain that I took. This child is now successful. And if I had chosen not to bring that child into the world because of my situation at the moment, what would the outcome have been? That is the question. What would the outcome have been if I had not brought this child into the world and I got rid of this child? In our moment of struggle, we have to remember that at the end of it, there's triumph, there's success. And your story can become a best-selling book. Your story can become a best-selling, your story can become a video that go viral. And it can help so many other people. And at that time, when I was going through what I was going through, I did not understand at that moment that, yes, Marie, you have to go through these things, because only in this moment of you going through and feeling everything and understanding this struggle, when you finally come out of it, you will see that you are stronger than you think you are. You will see that giving up is not an option. You will see that I can't shouldn't be in your vocabulary. You will see that all of these struggles and things that you go through, when you accomplish them, now I can use you. The Spirit said, now I can use you to help others who have been where you've been, who you might be able to help to keep them from going through as much as you went through, because you now can redirect them in the right direction that they need to go. So I give thanks today. I have so much gratitude in my heart. And that's just one situation in my life that I'm sharing. And to explain years later the success and the accomplishment that have come out of it, that I have learned, the success and the accomplishment of what my son turned out to be because of the struggle that I went through. And at the time, as a child, I had no idea that years later, there's a truck passing by and it's so loud because I'm outside under this tree, but years later, I'm reflecting back to see, look at the success and all the lives that my son have touched in a positive way. Look how my son have traveled the world and had excellent standing in the U.S. Army, to where they wanted him to stay longer. They did not want him to retire, and he decided to retire after 8 years. There's a lot of things that I have been through in my life, and people know me and don't know that I have been through these things, because of the fact that the more I experience these things, the more I go through them in peace. I go through my struggles in peace now. I don't get stressed and get overwhelmed anymore, because I know that the other side, I'm gonna come out on the other side. And someone once said, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, I see the light. And so now when I go through these things, I say, this is just part of the process to teach me, to show me that I'm strong mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm stronger than I think I am. It's just a challenge to push you further, to make you better as a person. But while you're going through it, you feel like you're going through hell. So take all of those trials and struggles and help it to use it to motivate you. Use it as determination. Sometimes you feel rejected because of a stumbling block. Sometimes you feel rejected because of a detour. But sometimes rejection is good. Sometimes rejection is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's steering you away from danger. It's steering you away from danger. So it takes you on another path to go around it to get back on the track where you need to go. And right when we hit that stumbling block or that roadblock, we get frustrated, we get angry, we want to give up all our hard work and determination. We get there and we stop and we want to give up. Because naturally as humans, you get physically stressed, mentally stressed, and you get tired and worn out and say, you want to quit, you want to give up. But I had to teach myself that quitting is not an option. So if I teach myself that quitting is not an option, then I'm going to have to find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So that detour might be trying to block you from something that is not good for you. And it's showing you that it's challenging you to use your mind and find another way around that to be successful at what you are setting out to accomplish. So take this advice from me, if you will. Some of the struggles and trials that we go through is just a test to show you that you are stronger physically, you are stronger mentally, you are stronger emotionally, you are stronger spiritually than you give yourself credit for. And I have to sit here today and say, ooh, I give thanks to the universe. The gratitude I have in my heart and in my soul, I have to give thanks for some of the things that I have come through. I give thanks. And I just wanted to share that with everybody today. And that's Marie's message for today. Everybody have a good day.